Hey there, The Real Matthew Show here. Hope your day is going well. Once again, I'm the editor-in-chief for Defiant Legends, and we're a culture and lifestyle magazine based out of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And sorry for the delay on the videos, I just got back from vacation, but I'm happy to say that today I'm back for another reaction video, and that's the reaction of this new The Game song featuring Anderson .Paak called Stainless. So I'm sure you guys have all heard of The Game. He's a West Coast rapper that's been around almost 20 years. He started his career with mixtapes in the early 2000s. His mixtapes like the You Know What It Is volumes. And later after that, he actually got picked up by Dr. Dre and got signed to Dr. Dre's label Aftermath. And he also got signed to G-Unit and became a member of G-Unit along with 50 Cent, Young Buck, Tony Yayo, and Lloyd Banks. But even before The Game's debut album on Aftermath called The Documentary, The Game got in a feud with 50 Cent and actually was kicked out of G-Unit. And the feud was basically about the fact that The Game didn't want to beef with East Coast rappers that 50 Cent was beefing with. Rappers like Jadakiss, Nas, and Fat Joe. Guys that The Game said he looked up to, which I respected because I believe the same thing. Who wouldn't look up to these great rappers? But obviously 50 Cent in the East Coast, and he's about as old as these guys, had some problems with them. But anyway, so even before The Game's album, The Documentary, came out in 2005, he already got kicked out of G-Unit, but the album still got released, and the album did very well. It actually went double platinum in that same year. And to me, I would honestly say this album goes down as a classic. And The Game is an artist that when he dropped this album and what he did for the movement, he pretty much bring the West Coast back. The West Coast of hip hop, like California, the whole state, they've always had an underground scene, but they didn't really have anyone in the mainstream holding that title for a long time, not since Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and the Chronic era, and Tupac, of course. And so yeah, The Game dropped The Documentary. It was a big album. And then later the next year, 2006, no longer with G-Unit or Aftermath, he dropped The Doctor's Advocate, which was another great album. And another reason why The Game is a big artist to me, like I grew up in the West Coast of Canada, but on top of that, another reason why The Game is a big artist for me personally is because he was the first concert I've ever seen in my life. When I was in high school, he came to my city and did a tour and did an all ages show. Of course, I was in high school, I couldn't go to an adult show. And that was just before The Game dropped Doctor's Advocate. And I bought both of those albums in hard copy. I also bought the next one that he released in 2008 called LAX. And then for a while, I listened to The Game's music a little bit, but I didn't really buy his albums or anything. I thought he was a great rapper, but he kind of fell off for a couple albums. Not till 2015 when he came back with The Documentary 2 and 2.5, and I definitely bought that one. I really liked that album. And even his next one, 1992. And so it's 2019 now. It's been a couple of years since he's dropped something, but The Game has been saying he's going to be dropping his last album ever called Born to Rap. And, he said he's going to retire before. He's teased that before, but this time he's saying it for real. So we'll see what happens with that. But, I don't really know what to think about The Game at this point. He's always been a consistent rapper. He has ups and his downs. And the past couple of years, I've actually liked his music, his last couple albums, compared to a few more years after that. So I'm interested to hear what he's going to do here. And he has this new song featuring Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak is a great singer, one of the best singers in hip hop the past couple of years. I love his albums from Malibu to Ventura from this year. He's a great singer, very melodic. His voice is very unique. Some people say he's like a cheat code on tracks. So we're going to hear him on this track here. And yeah, I'm excited to hear this. Excited to hear this new Game album and the first track. Let's get into this. Ooh, like the bass already.
Rolling on the 105. I don't drink when I drive, but I gotta do it high. Blow smoke.
Hold on, I really like the bass guitar in this, and the other sounds in it. It feels very rock inspired right off the bat. And then Anderson .Paak's lyrics: "I don't drink when I drive. I don't drink when I drive, but I do it high." That's funny. You can drive better when you're baked. Don't say that.
It's something you should try. I swear to God, it's a vibe. Got the stainless on my side. Pretty thing by my side. Says she rolling with the vibe. Yeah, she rolling with the vibe. She rolling with the vibe. 2 a.m. I was all alone. Lamborghini truck
that's a switch up. That's different. Didn't expect that. There's a lot of singing by Anderson .Paak in this. This is a really long hook and bridge.
If I'm stunting and I'm stunting, if I'm tripping and I'm tripping. Lambo truck with blue laces, tell Nipsey is crippin'. Zilda 60 still
Rest in peace,
shooting with
Nip.
precision. These is grown man bars. You niggas sit down while you pissing. But I ain't Paak, nigga.
These are grown man bars. You sit down while you're pissing.
I be in that beamer with a cot, nigga. Death row
He ain't Paak.
just for the trip. I'm not affiliated. West side, nigga, so they really hate it. I be out in Las Vegas at the MGM by the crap tables and some MCM. And it's Monday, I'm looking like somebody MCM. Niggas better watch they bitches, I be in DMs.
You better watch the bitches, you be in DMs.
Baby Lane, Buntry was busting back, heroin out in his chain. A fatal car crash killed Fatal Hussein. R.I.P. Gaddafi, riding down memory lane. Rolling on the 105, I don't drink.
Game's getting lyrical with the punchlines. I like that. That was dope.
And I drive, but I gotta do it high. Blowing smoke in the sky, It's something you should try. Swear to God, it's a vibe.
Shouldn't try.
Stainless on my side, This pretty thing by my side. Said she rolling with the vibe, yeah, she rolling with the vibe. She rolling with the vibe.
She rolling with the vibe.
I was all alone. Lamborghini truck in the Sade, all day long, just calling my phone. You and your friends when they tag along. 2 a.m. I was all alone.
I expected to get this smooth. I thought it'd be more hard hitting, like it was when the game was spinning. Keeps kind of taking off in different directions. It's a lot of Anderson .Paak. There's only been one verse by the game so far.
I went from wanting to be shoved to hating shoved to fucking with him. 28 years, a long ass time, just fucking with him. Talked to him on the phone the other day about how he could have signed me before Drake. Now I'm back in LA, riding down.
Alright, so right there he's talking about Suge Knight and all his problems he's had with Suge Knight over the years. And it's crazy because, yeah, he's had problems with him for a long time, where there's been rumors of problems with him for a long time, even though there might not have been directly. And, you know, obviously Suge's from the West Coast, the game's from the West Coast. But I thought Suge was locked up right now. He's talking about having a phone conversation with him and Suge Knight saying that how he could have signed him before. I mean, the game's about squashing beef, even though he's very deadly in beef, especially in hip-hop beef. So I can see this happening for sure.
Down Sunset with my clip full, watching the sunset. Cause this shit cool, life be like that. I'm just trying to catch a vibe, nigga. See some bitches, roll some trees and get high, nigga. Run up on my Lambo, that's suicide, nigga. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times.
Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times. Pistol grip, pump on my lap at all times.
Probably sound like this, somewhere between Cube and Kiss. I can't miss.
Somewhere between Cube and Kiss. Woof, Ice Cube and Jadakiss.
Platinum on the math. Executive produced by Dr. Dre, but that's the past. But even now, you play with Dre's name, I'm on your ass. When I drive, but I gotta do it high. Blowing smoke in the sky, It's something you should try.
You shouldn't try.
Stainless on my side, pretty thing by my side. Said she rolling with the vibe, yeah, she rolling with the vibe.
She rolling with the vibe. All right, I thought that was cool. I like the vibe of it. I think it was really dominated by Anderson .Paak. We got, I think, 2 verses by the game there. I mean, they were good verses, but I mean, they were good game verses. They stuck out to me. I liked his punchlines. Seemed like he was working pretty hard on those verses. Yeah, I thought they were good compared to the rest of his discography as well. They hold up well. Anderson .Paak was dominating it though. Great singing, of course. Great hook, great bridges. I like the vibe of the beat. It really worked well with Anderson .Paak, especially because of how smooth it was and how it kind of took you off in different directions. And the drums weren't kicking in unless the game was spitting. So, yeah, I thought it was good. I guess we'll see what happens with his next couple songs on his album. I hope he releases a really consistent album. You know, I think it's pretty hit or miss with the game, but I think at this point it's been a long time since he released music, and his past couple works of music were pretty good. So Yeah, I'm confident he's going to release good music. I'll keep listening to this song. I thought it was pretty good, and I'm hoping to see what he's going to do in his next album. Of course, I'm going to support him. Die-hard game fan, long time. Have a lot of his albums on CD. See him, like I said, the first concert in my life was a game. Still the West Coast. So yeah, I hope you guys like this song. Let me know how you feel about it. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you not like it? I thought it was pretty good. I like it. I'll listen to it a few more times. Maybe it'll grow something more, but that's just my first reaction. All right, guys.